Is there enough chairs for everybody? And I know we're always going to have the late people coming in, because I say 10 o'clock sharp, it's going to be 10 o'clock sharp. Does everybody have a pen and piece of paper?
No.
Okay, good. That's good timing. What did I just say?
Yeah, 10 o'clock sharp.
Exactly. Okay, so thank you for everybody for coming. There's going to be some really good information. Our first guest speaker, Mary, many of you in here have come and talked to me about getting an assistant, taking your business to another level, taking a lot of the grunt work away from real estate so you can focus on what you should be doing at least 20 hours a week, and that's prospecting, you know, and building your business. So I'm going to introduce Mary, and her team is now part of TRG Realty. Just so you guys know, I'm not going to tell you everything that she does, I'm going to leave it all up to her. But some of the realtors that she handles, besides obviously the whole TRG account, Hani, who's recently over from Century 21 along with Freddie, she looks after that team. She looks after the Hammer Watkinson team. So she does do extremely well and takes a lot of the grunt work away from realtors. So I'm going to let her talk. She's going to tell you guys how you can make a lot more money and work a lot less by taking a lot of this other stuff away from you guys. So I'll leave it up to Mary to come and after her little session here, if you guys have any, maybe we'll take a couple of questions before we head over to our next topics. So Mary, the floor is yours. And maybe just wait 2 seconds because I see 3 other people walking in.
So just stand up here and wait, Nico?
No joke. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I see more people walking in, so there you go. Take it away.
Okay, so as much as I would like to take credit for all the realtors that I support, really it comes down to them. And the thing that really sets them apart from all of the other realtors out there is their commitment to prospecting. They take this seriously. Like that's the biggest question I get from all of my clients. How do I get more business? How do I get more business? How do I get myself in front of more people? So as much as the service that I provide is great, really it comes down to you guys and your commitment level to having that bigger and better business. Because I can show you everything that needs to be done, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to do it. And my administrators can support you in doing it, but essentially it comes down to you wanting to pick up that phone, you wanting to connect with those people, you getting in front of those people. That's really what it comes down to. So that's pretty much it when it comes to making more money is prospecting. And I know you guys have heard this all before, so kind of just breaking down as to why some of you guys don't do it. So a lot of the time you guys spend your time focusing more on things that you don't necessarily need to do because it doesn't actually make you more money. So figuring out your website, trying to get that flyer absolutely perfect because you're sure that's what's going to give you all this business. You know, filling out the data input forms and putting your listings on the MLS, none of that actually makes you money. Only talking to people and asking for the business is what makes you money. So when I started my company was to provide administrators that can take all of that work that you don't have to be licensed to do, all of that work off of your plate so that you can just focus on prospecting. So that's just quickly really all that I have to really say. I'm not very good at selling myself, unfortunately. I'm not a realtor, but do you guys have any questions or kind of what that looks like?
Maybe just take a step by step. So a realtor comes to you.
Yes.
And take us, what's the next step?
So a realtor comes to me, and then I go over exactly how they want their business to be handled. And we write a very detailed process. This is kind of what really sets me apart from anybody else who tries to do this is the detail to which I can write this down and then train somebody in order to do it. So I write all of that down. I think of all the things that you may not even think of that you do in your business, and we make sure that we're doing that for you, and then we kind of don't let you do that anymore. So even if you really like doing flyers, we don't let you do that. We're like, nope, this is our job, we're going to do that, go call somebody. And that's something that we can really hold you accountable to do as well. So we write down the very detailed workflow of how you like your business to be handled, and then we handle it for you every single day, day in, day out, Monday through Friday. So.
Okay, can you tell me who's this ideal for?
This is ideal for realtors that do 20 to 40 transactions. If you're doing under 20 transactions, chances are you probably won't be able to afford our service. So it's between 20 and 40 transactions. And also too, you've kind of gotten in there and you know what it takes in order to take your business to the next level, and kind of you have that drive. You've established yourself at that point.
Okay.
So do you have different packages, or is it a la carte, or how do you rate, or how do you price the service?
It's a monthly fee, so you pay for the monthly fee, and then we provide the service for you, you know, for the month. And our hours are flexible as to what you want, but generally anytime between 8 and 8 p.m., an 8-hour block between that time is usually what you get. And it's you determine that. So if you want, you know, 10 to 6, or you want, 8 to 4, really what kind of works better with your schedule.
Are you referring to hours? When you
8
say
a.m. to 6
8
p.m.
a.m. to
Yes.
6 p.m., okay.
We only offer full-time admin support. We don't do part-time because it really is a disservice to you guys. If you're at this level, you guys are not working anywhere near part-time, so you need that support. Okay, anybody else have any other questions?
What are your fees?
That's on a consultation basis. So you meet with me and then I would really establish what it is that you need done, and then that's determined at that point as well. Okay?
I strongly recommend that you guys meet on a one-on-one basis with this lady. She's being very humble. She's done already amazing work for TRG and some of the stuff that we're going to be introducing to you guys over the next couple of months. And for many of you that are looking to take your business to a new level, I've said to many of you, sometimes you have to take a small step backwards to take 2 more big steps forwards. And the work that they take away from you, that you find yourself spending hours on a weekly basis, when you should be taking those hours and working on growing your business, believe me when I tell you, it is more than worth it to grow your business. She's being very, very humble right now. So.
Well, I really appreciate Nico, and I appreciate all of my clients. That's the only way that I get business. I'm not going to lie. All of my clients just tell everybody, like, the work that we do and how happy they are, and then how much they've been able to grow their business. And so I really appreciate, people like Nico and people like the Hammer Watkinsons and the Vancouver House Finders that really, just tell my story far better than I could.
Well, different situation, but I didn't have as much time to put into real estate because I was part-time before. But I was lucky I met Honey and Mary. And yeah, they do take a lot of the work aside, so I was actually able to work full-time at Canada Post and do real estate and not fail. Now I'm a full-time realtor.
Thank you, Fred.
Any other questions for Mary? Okay, great. Like I said, she is in this office, so her and her team work out of TRG Kits. So feel free to set up a one-on-one session with her. And like I said, I met the other members of her team, and they are amazing. Okay, one more question.
What is your website?
Realestateadminsolutions.com.
Real estate.
Adminsolutions.com.
Okay.
And also, Chief, you guys have any questions? So if you're spending any time spending more than 20 minutes trying to figure out what you should be doing during the day, definitely give me a call and I'll make it very clear as to what that should look like for you every day, okay? All right, that's all.
Thank you, Mary. All right. Market update. Yes, I got to put on the glasses. Okay, so how many people are including this in their listing package? It's your monthly sales report, activity report from the board. Rick has been harping on you guys, and I have, and Thomas, that this has to be part of your listing presentation. Okay, it's a weekly update. This should be your newsletter. We're going to talk about that shortly. But for those who haven't read the stats, did you know that the sales in the Greater Vancouver reached there were 4,060 sales in the month of March. That is up 53% from last year at 2,600 sales from last year. And going back 2 years ago, they're up another 32% compared to 3,000 in February 15th. So when you guys are doing your listing presentations and you're talking about this with your clients and how hot the market is, you have to have stats like this with you every time when you go do a listing presentation. Did you know, is it still a seller's market or a buyer's market?
Sellers.
Still sellers? Normally at this time, does it normally switch over in April? This is why it hasn't this year. The MLS has reported that right now, currently, we are sitting at 12,300 listings on MLS. That's down 14% from last year. So that's over 1,500 listings from this year to last year. So again, when you're sitting in your listing presentation with your sellers, you got to know this stuff. So when you're pricing your properties, this is how you got to know to price a property. It's great that it's a seller's market, but believe me when I tell you that as we get into the spring and summer, more and more listings will come on the market. Don't get caught like a lot of realtors get caught, where you constantly, you take the last sale, then you up it by 3 or 5% as the market continues to go up. But as the listings start to go up, the seller's market slowly becomes level. You plateau to being an even market, and we've seen probably the last 3-4 years, as you get into the summer market, the buyers start having their way with it because there's so much product on the market. So then you have to learn, if you pay attention to your sales and where the market is going, You know when to, okay, I can't take the last sale price and up it because now listings are at 14,000, 15,000. Maybe I gotta price it right at the last listing. As you get into the summer months and maybe there's way more listings now, then you know what, I gotta take the last sale price and maybe reduce it by 1% or 2%. So stats like this will help you price your properties properly and will make you look intelligent in front of your sellers. Just carrying on with the stats. Again, this one a great one to know for all of you that handle detached homes. Sales of detached homes in March reached 1,700, an increase of 53% compared to 1,100 last year. 933 in March of 2013. So come on in. Sales of apartments reached 1,600, up 47% from last year at 1,100. So the benchmark price for Vancouver went up 11.2% to $1,052,000 for detached homes. Did you guys know this? For apartments, it went up 3.3% to $390,000. These are stats that you have to know. Like I said, Rick's been harping on it for years for you guys to do this. And take this one step further. How many of you do this with your listing presentation? Put your hands up, way up. Okay, half the room. You have to have what we call, this is snap stats. So like this market update, this gives you an incredible detailed market update. Again, I think you guys should have, all of you need to have this in your listing presentations. Our whole business is built on being a lister. I've always said that to you guys, you want longevity in this business, be a lister, because you have all the control. And knowledge is power. So when you're walking in to list your properties and the seller's asking questions about the market, I just pulled off the last ones for the month of January, February for condo sales in downtown. Sorry, I'm gonna put on my eyes again. Okay, did you know, from January to February, the inventory went from 644 to 707. No big deal. But the sales, okay, went up from 156 to 248. Okay, that's a great stat to tell your buyers. So it's not just the detached homes that are selling, condos are selling as well. Did you know that the average price in downtown went from 493,500 to 505,500, so 12,000 in 1 month. Great stat to tell your seller when you're sitting down, or even your buyer, when you're trying to write an offer, you say, listen, maybe we shouldn't play around. The market is shifting, upwards. Great stat to show them. The per square foot sale price, this is how detailed this stuff is, went from 656 per square foot to 664. Okay, not that great, but here's a really good one. The average days on the market from January to February, 1 month, went from January, 29 days, average on the market, to 11. Okay, that's huge. That's huge, right? So the buyer, you better tell your buyer, hey, we don't have time to go out a couple weekends. If you see something that you like, we gotta jump on it pretty quick because this is what the market is telling us. When you show your buyer these stats, it's not you making this stuff up. It's the facts, it's the stats. They're gonna be more apt to write an offer right away when you show them stuff like this. Okay, let's take this even one more step further. Again, sticking with downtown. The quietest part of downtown, okay, Cole Harbour. There were 104 listings, only 28 sales. Okay?
Not bad.
The most active part of downtown, Yaletown, 133 listings, 58 sales. Okay? So 26% for Cole Harbour, and it breaks it right down, to 43% for Yaletown. That's huge. So guess what? If you've got a client for Yaletown, you better get them to write pretty quick. Cole Harbour, yeah, maybe you do have time to take him out 2-3 times. Not as active. Did you know that there were 26 listings downtown at $4 million and above? None of them sold. Okay, none of them sold. Hottest price point in downtown, between 700,000 and 800,000. Okay, 33 listings, 16 sold. Okay, when you're sitting down and showing stats like this, like these two things with your sellers and with your buyers, it makes you look smart. And these are facts. Like I can't tell you guys enough, and I know Rick's talked about this many, many times. These things must be in your listing presentation package. If you don't have the Snap Stats, how much is it per month? 10 bucks? Or 10 bucks, 10, 15 bucks per month to get these. And this is just downtown. They break it down, Vancouver East, Vancouver West, Richmond, Burnaby, and then it breaks down the sub areas of each city. So you gotta have them, and it tells you which is the hot market, which ones aren't, where the prices are, how many sold in $100,000 increments.
But each area is different.
Yeah.
You have to book.
Yeah, yeah, so you book the area but I'm saying like all the areas are there for you guys to use. So these two things, please make sure your monthly stats and your Snap Stats are part of your listing package. Okay, are there any questions with regard?
What do you mean by book? You can only use Snapchat for one area per month that you pay for?
I believe so, yes.
Well, you either pick like the west side, which
Or
is
the
like
Fraser
15,
Valley.
and then subsequently everything, like if you want the Tri-Cities or North Van or.
There's
No,
three
North
different-
Van's included, I think.
North versions, yeah, North Van's
Have
on
you-
that one. So there's
Yeah.
Greater
You-
Vancouver, there's Metro Vancouver, and I think they're coming up with the Fraser Valley one.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
a
you
definite
want
must
all
if
of
you're
them,
working a
just
certain
get a
area.
little extra.
And it
Yeah.
keeps you up to date and makes you look
Yeah, they're
so
really good.
smart.
And then once a year, they send out a 5-year thing as
Yeah,
well.
the
which is great.
5-year thing is huge,
fantastic.
it's so
Yeah.
good for.
You know the
buyers.
real estate board, they have the stat center. Do you guys check that out? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
That's pretty amazing. It gives you the same information and you can actually go with it with the client when I'm writing offers or
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
listing appointments.
Yeah.
It's
Like I
pretty
said,
sweet.
knowledge is power, guys.
Yeah.
And this is not you making stuff up. These are actual stats from the board, okay? No more questions? All right. Now, to the last part and the fun part of this meeting. I've mentored many of you guys in here. We have so many meetings, and the biggest thing is we worry about helping you find business, like with prospecting and going out there and working your expired listings and for sale by owners and all that kind of stuff, and that's great, and you have to do that. But it actually is amazing to see how much money you have and you don't even know it within your database. And I've talked to many of you guys to work your database and work the referrals. And people like myself, I know Thomas who's been doing it many, many years, and some of us else in here, are like 70, 80, 90% of our business is referral based. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about how I think you guys can increase your business to get more business from your referrals. And then I'm gonna give you what I think is a mind-blowing stat, and to actually see how much a client is worth, and to hear some of the top agents and how they look at a client and not just the sale, okay? So we've talked many times about breaking down your database into 3 categories. Your A-list, those are people that would just kill for you to do real estate. Your friends and family, which is your B-list, okay? And your C-list, which is your acquaintances. We've talked a little bit about how many times you have to contact them. But the big question comes back is, well, Nico, how do I know? How do I rate them? This is what I would suggest to you guys. I would send an email, talk to your clients, but write this down. This is how you can figure out if they truly want to be part of your referral system, okay? So this is what you say to them. Mr. or Mrs. Seller, Mr. Buyer, whatever it is. I invest a lot of time in my referral sources, okay? So if you prefer not to be one, please let me know. It would really help my business if you would set me straight. Okay? Send that out to all the people in your database. If the people come back and they say, yes, you know what? Please include me in there. Those guys go right to your A-list. Okay? You might have friends and family that say, hey, and tell them this. Hey, let me know up front that they are not obligated to refer your services just because of our current relationship. And if they still come back and say, hey, no, we're friends, but I'm also going to refer you out. Great, they get into your A-list. Okay? Don't be afraid to ask those questions. And believe me, with the first question that I said, if people say yes to that, guess what? They want to support you. They want to help you. Okay? Make sure that you include them in there. Now, how many times do I contact them? This is a stat from the National Association of Realtors. Okay? The top agents that work their referral systems came back and said, you need to make 17 contacts per year, okay, with that referral source. So you need to contact them 17 times.
By email?
I'll tell you. 4 phone calls, okay? 1 face-to-face, okay? And 12 direct mail campaigns. But the direct mail campaign is not, hi Brian, I'm #1 in real estate. I sold 55 homes last year. You know what? Why aren't you referring me out? No. Okay. What you say is this. You include information, okay, that gives them knowledge and information about real estate. Here are some of the things that were suggested with your monthly newsletter, okay? 12 direct mail campaigns, market update. Some of the top agents are sending this, okay? It gives them proper information about the market and makes you look good because you're giving them valuable information.
Are you talking about mail or email?
Direct mail. This is email.
Email or
You
mail?
can do hard copy or email.
Yeah.
Either way. Okay, however you do your work your system. Okay, you want to give valuable information. I've talked to you guys about this. Another piece of information that you could do is auto email. And this one has worked huge for me and for a lot of these realtors here. You've just sold a person into 1000 Beach Avenue. Okay? How many times, and again, put your hands up here, where you've sold a property and next thing you know, before you know it, they've gone ahead and sold it within the next year or two with somebody else and you didn't even know. Anybody? I've had it happen to me. Nobody's, Richard? Okay, Brian? Yeah, you don't even know. It's amazing what happens. And it's actually happening to me right now as we speak with one of my properties. What you do is this, you set them up on auto email. So if I bought, or my client bought a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom unit in 1000 Beach Avenue, set them up auto email, it takes 30 seconds. Yeah, on MLS. Every time a unit gets listed at 1000 Beach Avenue that is 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, it gets sent to them. Okay? You're not doing anything. You're staying top of mind, which is important, with good, valuable information. Okay? What is happening, especially in this market? You sold them, a year later goes by, and I mean, it was 500,000 last year. This year it's worth 575. Hey Jazz, you know what? I didn't realize the one right up above me sold for that. I could probably get this from it. Maybe we should look at, upgrading. Okay, it's happening to me right now where I sold a detached house in on the west side for just under 1.7 million. We just listed it for 2 million. I just put a sign on the lawn. I woke up this morning, I have an offer on my computer for just under 1.9, just from the sign. $200,000 in 1 year. Okay, set them up on auto email. It's amazing. And here's the other thing that happens. Over the years, they have people that come over. Oh my God, you know what? Lance, if anything came up in here, I'd love to buy in this building. Well, great, one just came up. Just, this one next door, blah, blah, blah. It's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's only $25,000 more than what I paid for mine. Well, how do you know all this information? Well, Nico, my realtor, sends me this stuff and I always stay up to date. You should give him a call if you're interested to live in here. Okay? Believe me, it works. Okay? So you're sending good, valuable information. Along with this, I would also send this. So if people bought in a certain area, give them valuable information, okay? By remaining top of mind with good, valuable information, believe me when I tell you, it'll come back and you'll get paid off so many times, okay? Valuable information, that's what you send. 5 categories, and it's going to quickly touch upon this before we get to the last part. Mortgage broker. In your A-list, you must have, I want 1 mortgage broker and 1 banker in my A-list. Remember, we're going to talk about what is a referral worth and what is a client worth. My last referral for my mortgage broker, it was a list and then a buy. 1 client, I listed their $1.7 million property on the west side, sold it multiple offers, double-ended it, and then they bought a $2.650 million property on the west side as well. 1 referral, 1 client, between $80,000 and $90,000 in commissions, 1 referral. You have to have a mortgage broker and a banker. They're related. How do you give back to them? I know Kevin knows the slogan, giver's gain. Okay? You give to them, they give to you. You give them, somebody comes in, doesn't have a mortgage broker, you send them their way. They feel obligated to send you business. Okay? Create a relationship with a banker and a broker. Second one is a lawyer. Okay? You want a lawyer that deals in estate sales and, bad to say, but good for business, divorce sales. Okay, husband and wife have to sell their property. One end, you get double-ended, it's two. They each have to buy. They're probably downsizing because they can't afford what they're selling. So two more deals. So one client could be four ends. I have a a lawyer friend of mine. He referred an estate sale to me. I sold the sister's brother who passed away. This was a couple of years ago. Then the sister, because she liked what I did and I stayed in touch with her through what we're talking about now, referred her sister to me. I just did a buy and sell with her. Now the original referral tells me that I need to sell their detached home because now she's downsizing. One referral is going to be minimum 5 ends. Why? Because I stayed in touch and I have a relationship with a lawyer. What do I do to give them business? I send them my conveyancing. Okay? Establish.
Do you pay finder's fees?
No. I make enough money when I sell. I don't need finder fees. I don't need
No,
microwaves.
but I mean, you pay them.
No,
Microwaves.
nothing. They don't expect anything from me. I don't expect any from them. That's the type of relationship that we have. The next one, financial planner. Okay? There's a lot of money in Vancouver. Financial planners, people go to them, hey, what do I do with all my money? Make sure, and this, I'm still dumbfounded when I meet financial planners that don't think real estate is a good investment. I don't get
They
it.
don't make money referring to real estate. though.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, if you're a really good financial planner, you want your client to have some kind of real estate holdings in their portfolio, bottom line. An accountant is another one. Client goes in, does a really good, has a really good year. What do I do with all my money? Where do I put it? Put it into real estate. I created a relationship with my accountant many years ago to the point where I baptized his youngest son. So now I'm not only referring the accountant, I'm referring a dear friend of mine. He sends me business, I send him business. And the last one is general insurance. Again, everybody when you sell a house needs home insurance if it's attached home, if it's strata, condo insurance. Have to have these guys in your database. What happens? Client calls, hey, time for renewal, Jules. You know what? I'm thinking of selling my condo or my house. Can we do it on a month-to-month? I don't want to fork out $2,000, $3,000 in insurance. Do you have a realtor? No? Great. I know of somebody for you. Okay? So use the giver's gain mentality. Make sure you have these 5 categories in your database. Believe me, I probably do, and I know Thomas and some of the other ones that have been doing it a long time, 10 to 15 ends a year from their referrals. It's the most stupid, silly, easy money I make all year long. And it works. Okay? Questions, Kevin?
Do you guys do home and garden show tickets?
No.
Twice a year, as a realtor, you get free tickets for your clients. Well, they're free unless they use them. So what happens is I'll go to my database, my A-list, and you can give out 200 tickets for free. And it's twice a year, so it's in the spring and the fall. Basically, it gives me an excuse to call them and do something nice for them. And whatever tickets don't get used, you don't get charged for. And the ones that they do use, I think you get a discount on. So it's pretty good, actually. It's
Any ideas like
a lot
that?
of high
Yeah.
value.
Like I said, it giver's gain, and I know Kevin because we were in the same networking group many moons ago. And I know Kevin did very well in his business, and I did well in my business. So but we had that mentality. If you give people are obligated, they feel obligated to give back. You know, and it's going to be the same thing if those 5 categories that I just mentioned, they're all related to real estate. And by finding a good team to put like that in your database, oh, like I said, the sky's the limit. Okay? Okay, so let's get to the last part. So what is a client worth? So you're going to do this amazing referrals and put these guys in your database and contact them 17 times and do the proper follow-ups like we just discussed. Now, the number one thing, okay, and you guys can write this down, that all the top realtors, again, these are stats from everything I'm going to give you here from the National Association of Realtors. It's not me making this stuff up. All of them said this, the ones that are successful with their referral program, they say they are all client focused, not property focused. Okay? And what that means is a lot of realtors make this mistake. They say once the money is made, they move on and they forget about that client. Okay? So let's just take an example and see what is a client worth over the next 10 years. Okay? Can we say in Vancouver, average commission is 8 to 10,000 what the prices are today? Is that average? Should I say 6 to 8, 8 to 10? What do you think?
That's fair.
Okay, that's fair? Okay. For this example, we're going to use $5,000. Okay, so your average commission is $5,000. Okay, So we're going to refer to the client as Mrs. Smith. Okay, I just sold today Mrs. Smith. She was a sell and a buy. Okay, so I just made 2 transactions, $10,000 from Mrs. Smith. So as of right now, she's worth $10,000. Okay. Average, again, these are stats. I think in Vancouver it's 3 to 5 years. But what they say is Mrs. Smith will sell at least one more time and buy one more time within the next 10 years. Like I said, I think the average is here is 3 to 5. But am I fair to say over the next 10 years, Mrs. Smith will buy one more time with me? Fair enough? Okay, so there's 2 more transactions there. So again, 2 times 5, so now it's 10 plus 10 equals 20. Stats show that each person, so Mrs. Smith, okay, and all our buyers and sellers out there, know between 3 and 5 people that will move, okay, within the next year. Okay, 3 to 5. So each person knows 3 to 5 people. So taking that, we're going to use the average of 4. Okay, so we're not going to go high, we're not going to go low. We're going to say 4. So over the next 10 years, okay, Mrs. Smith has the ability to refer 40 people that she's going to know that are moving over the next 10 years. So 40 potential referrals for me. Okay? I'm going to go really, really conservative. Am I going to get half of them? No. Am I going to get 25% of them? No. I'm going to just say that I'm going to get 1 out of 10. Okay? So over the next 10 years, from Mrs. Smith, I'm going to get 2.5, so every 2.5 years I'm going to get 1 referral. Is that pretty fair, pretty conservative? Not blowing it up, not blowing up the numbers to make it look good or anything like that, okay? So 1 referral out of those 40, 1 in 10, okay? And let's just assume for now that they are just either buys or sell. They're not a sell and buy. So I'm going to make 4 transactions over the next 10 years with Mrs. Smith from her referrals. So when you factor in the original sale, it's $10,000. She's going to buy a second time with me. That's another $10,000. And she's going to refer those 4 people to me. That's $20,000. So now Mrs. Smith, conservatively, is worth $40,000 to me over the next 10 years. Does that not change your mindset about what is a client worth to you and how much you should look after them? But here's the best part of it all. Those 4 referrals that she referred that became, like Mrs. Smith referred to me, those are my next 4 Mrs. Smiths. So do you see now you can draw on those ones as well? So as the years go by, you have many, many more Mrs. Smiths. So can you imagine in your database, like right now, if you had 10 Mrs. Smiths, just 10, you would have $400,000 basically guaranteed over the next 10 years. Can you get to 20 Mrs. Smiths in your database? Many of you have 50, 100 people in your database. Just have 20 Mrs. Smiths, people that refer to you, okay? And these conservative stats, using only $5,000 in commissions, which is way lower in Vancouver, 20 will guarantee you $800,000 in commissions in the next 10 years. That's $80,000 a year from 20 Mrs. Smiths. Does it make you want to work your database? David.
I think it's fine to say, you know, call them, email them, and do all this stuff. But if we don't have systems to do it, it just falls apart, you know?
But why don't you have a system?
So what should be the system? I mean, how
do you keep track of your clients?
I'm not good with systems, you know?
Talk to Mary.
Yeah, you can help with that.
That's why we put this all together.
Should we be using Top Producer, or should we be using, what should we be using?
Well, this is what we talked about with Mary at the very beginning. They will manage your database. They will put you on a program. So you give them the information. And the information is right here. You don't have to make it up. It's not hard work. You basically would say to somebody like Mary, like she could be like your virtual assistant, her team, or if you want to do it on an individual basis, you have the systems in place. It's copy paste. It's not rocket science. It's so simple to do. And then if you have, like I said, if you use Mary, Top Producer, whatever you use, it tracks what you're sending it, when you're sending it, and what the response is. And I think with Mary's system, they'll even track and see who saw it. How long did they spend time on it? Did they read it? You know, are there any questions? So you have to have a tracking system, guys. You have to have a database where you put your customers in.
And this is one of the reasons why I meet with everybody individually instead of saying, here, do this, because every realtor is different. So I sit down, I talk to you, what works really well for you? What, how do you like your, CRM to work? And then I can recommend one that works that way for you and then show you how to use it, make sure all your data's in there and making sure that you're updating it and things like that. So that's why I meet with people individually, because I really do customize everything to the way that you do business as well. So I'm happy to stop by and see you a little later today. Go over that with you if you'd like.
What I wanted to get across to you guys today, like I said, Rick's talked about it over the years as well, is that look within your database. There are thousands of dollars that you guys are missing out on. Thousands of dollars. If you work your database properly, and like I said, these stats show that the top realtors that don't look at their clients as one and done, and if you work your system, like there's tons of referrals, and the best thing is, with regard to referrals, your foot's already in the door. The door's open for you. Like they're telling you they had a good experience with you, and they're referring you because they like you, and you're going to make them look good by going and helping their friends and family. It's such an easy thing to do. And then, like I said, on top of that, if you work these categories that we just mentioned, where they're related to our business, okay, the sky is the limit. And like I said, we use Mrs. Smith as a 5K example, okay, and only are you going to get 1 in 10 of her clients. Well, guess what? If you follow up properly and they like you, you're going to get way more than 1 in 10. Okay, and Mrs. Smith is going to be a lot more valuable than just the 40K that we just talked about here today. So go to your databases. Like I said, ask that question to your database. Create a powerful referral source. And I promise you, like, the sky's the limit. Okay. Questions?
I have a question. Like, I've been on the other end of the stick recently. So, like, you will meet with somebody, they love you, all that stuff, and then you're supposed to, meet at a later time to do something, and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, but my mom or my grandma or whatever recommended a really good realtor. So, if you're on the opposite end of the fence, what? How do you handle that, or can you?
But that's what we just said. It's 1 in 10. You're not going to get them all.
Yeah.
And I've had friends that I've sold over the years, and then their brother or sister became a realtor. And I understand. And that's fine. You're not going to get them all. But move on from that one and put somebody else in your database. And your database and your referral source will always be changing. And I've said to this guys before, and I've had it happen to me. 22 years in this business, I still pull knives out of my back. It's our business. I've supported people all these years, now they have a chance to reciprocate, and they don't. Now, 22 years later, I just brush it off my shoulder, I get in my car, crank out my heavy metal music, scream for 5 minutes, and then I'm done. At the beginning of my real estate career, I was in tears and let it bug me for days and days. Now, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? Because I have a big referral source, I know it's going to happen, right? So, Brian first and then Dave.
Quick question. So somebody does that, yeah, their aunt refers it to another realtor, and that, do you move them from, say, your A-list down into your, you keep sending them stuff anyway, right?
Yeah. But they're not going to be part of my A group anymore,
Right.
because all of a sudden they have a family member that's a realtor. Understandably, it's fine. It happens. Doesn't it feel like every person that we know knows like 10 realtors?
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to happen. That's why you got to remain top of mind with good, valuable information. Not I am number one, not I am the best, but give them knowledge. It'll make you look smart. Okay, David.
I forgot what I was gonna ask.
Okay,
I was gonna say, sometimes the family members not always, we had a client whose cousin was a realtor. The entire family was pushing her, use your cousin, and she's like, no, Julie and Nico are my realtor, and she's referred about $150,000 of business to us.
but again, we've stayed in
So-
touch with them.
And we've nurtured the relationship, and we've sold all the other family members in and out of places, and they've gotten in heck for not using the cousin. But now their family's like the only people we use or refer are us. So family member doesn't always win out.
Yeah, Colin, you had a question? No, okay.
Just want to add on to that for what, Hani, your question
Yeah.
is, folks, the way to get around potentially that issue happening is to talk to them when you are sitting down face to face with them. Please understand you, and I really appreciate you allowing me to come into your house to talk with you. We know there are lots of realtors out there that you could be dealing with. There could be lots of relatives that have realtors, friends and everything, and you're gonna be bombarded with it. You're gonna be, asked to go with them. Speak about, again, what Nico just says, what you can bring to them.
Yeah.
If you convince them and you sit down and you talk about them, bring out what potentially this might happen, deal with it up front. And so when it does happen, those people go, oh, wow, he or she was right. Yeah, no, I'm happy with information you gave me. You will, as Nico said, you won't keep them all. You will still lose some.
Yeah.
But talk about it. And thank them for allowing you to come into their home and allow them to talk to them and interact with them. You know? The old adage is, you keep that for the old adage is, and I'm not sure we're going to say it right, is people won't use you until they think you care about them and what you can do for them. You can be the best realtor out there, but if you go in and I'm number one and be one, lose them, sell, make one in and dump them, most people will pick up on that and they not use you. People will use you when you show that you care about what they do, you're interested in what they want to do. So talk with them, discuss with them as much as you can.
We had one instant where I still to this day I cannot believe it. You guys all know Phil Moore in Burnaby? Okay, use that example. I'm dumbfounded. Julie went up against Phil Moore in a listing presentation, and we found out after that it was between Julie and Phil Moore. And she called Julie back because she wanted Julie to list the property, and I went with her to list the property. I swear to God, I still, in all these years of real estate, I've never seen this. The seller sat beside Julie, and like they were like almost like glued to each other. And she says that I chose you and I liked you, and she almost like kind of leaned over and put her head on Julie's shoulder. And I'm sitting across from the other couch. I'm like, is this really happening? Like really, like, but she cared, whereas the other guy probably didn't. She was a number to him. Okay, and she's like, I want you to sell my house, and a really soft voice, and I got this big fancy presentation, but I like you instead. Can you sell my house? I'm sitting there, are you freaking kidding me? But it's exactly what Rick just said. Okay, Dave, one last question, then we'll.
I was gonna say, I used to go through this big emotional turmoil whenever I get dumped by.
Talk to Anna.
Yeah, I mean, and I've come whining to Rick a few times, but I think the thing that solves that issue is more prospecting.
There you go.
Yeah.
Today's meeting was about working your referral system, your database, and understanding that there's so much more business that you have, you just don't even know it. And if you apply what we just talked about today, I promise you, and I'll sit down with you on a one-on-one basis after the meeting in the next week, in the next month, whenever you guys want to, and we'll put it in place for you, and you will be like amazed with the results, I promise you. 22 years I've been doing this, 80 to 90% of my business is referral based. Thomas is about 25, 26 years. I can guarantee you most of his business is referral based as well. Okay? Just one, do you have anything? I got one last thing, just a reminder for Thursday, our team, the Boulevard marketing team from here at Kits, they're launching their Hamilton project on 46th and Oak. So it's at noon to 2 on Thursday if you guys are around. I think there's free food and drinks and stuff like that. Oh, there you go.
Thanks, Nick. And we have some information here. I will leave in the front desk. There's just some preview package for all the realtor. In case you haven't received our realtor event invitation or preview package email, there's just some hot copies. If you need any more information, the follow-up team will be happy to help this. Thanks.
Okay, so it's 10:45 as promised. Meeting end. Just a couple little housekeeping items. Oh yeah, we have some new people here. Brian Grove, transfer from Coldwell Banker, welcome him. Kevin Boyle from Sutton, welcome him. Kimberly DeYoung, another DeYoung, like Julie DeYoung over here, your twin sister. Another DeYoung back there. Svetlana, another Svetlana. Banner also formerly of Sutton, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. From Sutton, yeah. So company is growing big time, guys. We have Collie to thank for that, Mary to thank for that. So yeah, when you guys do see them in the office here, make sure you make them feel welcome. Be here downtown.
A couple things, couple things that just to touch on with what Nico has been pushing today, and I don't mean by pushing in a bad thing, but really emphasizing really what you need to do for your business. It's a thing to when you talk about caring, because unfortunately, a big tough rough guy that I am, I was a softie out there with clients, and I got to know them their birthdays. I got to know them on their wedding anniversaries. I got to know them all different dates of different things, and their anniversary when they bought with me, when they completed the deal. And that's another way I stayed in contact with my clients on anniversary days, on their birthdays, you know. So as long as you keep your face in front of them, they will remember you. So make sure. On the stats that Nico had talked about, just to, as I keep it harping and tell you where a balanced market is between 12 and 16, anything below 12 is seller's market, anything above 16 is buyer's market. February was at 11,006. March, as Nico just mentioned, is at 12,3. So that's gone up 600 listings. I anticipate April is going to go up again. So as we getting into that summer, we're going to get more and more product because everybody's going, wow, the neighbor or the person down the street, you got that much for that house, I will sell my house. So prospecting out there, getting contacts with your people, door knocking if you have to, just get your face and your name out there in front of people. So when they do think the baby listed, it's time to sell because of the way the market is, you have it. Now, on a couple issues that talk about for the council, real estate council, they have a very huge front page report on it because we are dealing with so many complaints right now from the council on people using unlicensed assistants doing licensed work. Okay? So there is on the Real Estate Council website, there is a list of what they can do and cannot do, unlicensed. Please go on their website, download those duties, and make sure if you are using an assistant, that they are within that realm of what they can and cannot do. Okay? We're getting a lot of people using assistants for showing homes, contacting public, and that they're not allowed to do that. And we're having to punish the realtors. And right now at this point in time, first offense, we're issuing a 7-day suspension, $1,200 fine, and to take a course. Okay? And second offense is 30-day suspension. Take that course again, and another course, and another $1,200 fine. So they're taking it very seriously about these unlicensed assistants because unlicensed assistants are using members of the public or talking with members of the public and potentially could hurt them. And especially in our Vancouver market with the way prices are, if you're an unlicensed and you've given some information and it's affected the seller, that's $1 million to $3 million. So the council takes it very serious. So if you are going to go with an assistant, or if you're using one, make sure they follow the rules, or use Mary as the unlicensed assistant to do certain jobs that they're entitled to do and work within, because she's not going to go and open your house for you, show your home in that. So make sure you get the rules and regulations, and every 2 years we have to do renewals. And fortunate enough, I catch little things that happen. There's a form you have to sign now when you renew, stating that you've taken that specific course that the council requires you to take, which is that legal update one. Correct. Now, the problem is it's so funny the council's anal about this, but you've signed, because you got the form and you go, oh, I better get that course done, but you've signed your form and you've dated it. And then you've taken the course a week later or 2 weeks later or whenever, because you knew you were taking the course. But you've dated, the day you've dated it, and you submit it to the council, that is a falsified report, and you will be suspended. So, what you got to do, and again, fortunate enough with coming through me to renew, I constantly, before some of you have signed it, I said, have you taken the course? So I've taken it tomorrow, wipe this date out and redate it, to catch you. Just because of the council's looking for that. So make sure on your renewal forms that you've taken that course, and after you've taken that course, if it was February 2nd, then date it anytime after February 2nd. Okay? They're very anal about that stuff. I keep bringing up all the different stuff that you get in your mailbox from the different organizations, council, BCREA, errors and omission, all these different things that are, some think it's not necessary or doesn't have any relevant information. It's got nothing but valuable information. you need to read these things and understand them, and if you have any questions or you don't understand, come and talk to me. Okay, I'll be more than happy to explain and go through with what they're trying to say, what they have. And there's some of this information, as Nico was saying before with stats, you might have to have in your package, listing package. Say, look, our British Columbia Real Estate Association, this is what this says about the market, and whatever it says, it's right here. So use them, read them, understand them. I have one, last thing. This is way above my pay grade when it comes to social media. I don't understand. Again, when I went to school, there was no computers. So this is all new. I know how to do email. I'm having trouble scanning and sending things, but I'm getting there. I had a presentation at a sort of a real estate trade show, and this person has just signed Sutton Canada up, Remax Western Canada up, and a lot of individual companies and independents. I know Dexter signed up, McDonald Realty has signed up, and he would like to do a small little demonstration in the boardroom for 8-10 people, and if they're interested, they can sign up and have this person. It's not an assistant, and it's not a lead generator. I don't know everything that he offers. I just saw the demonstration. I was taken back by it. If I was a realtor, I would probably want to sign this up because it would help me in my business, control my business. And it has to do with your client base, has to do with helping clients build your brand, generate more business. Sorry, I'm gonna pass out. What do you take one? And if you are interested, there is a phone number on there. I am not going to. I'm not going to endorse it. All I'm saying is I've seen it, and as a realtor, it was something that I would want to have myself. And if you are interested, I suggest that you guys talk amongst yourselves, or someone want to organize, having a presentation brought to you. You can set up the boardroom. It takes 20 minutes of your time.
Nice watch out.
And if you're happy, you use them. If you're not, move on. But Sutton Canada has signed them up. Remax has signed it. Western Canada Remax has signed up.
He doesn't call me back anymore.
Who?
Is that Clarence Chew you're talking about?
Claire 2?
Clarence?
No. No. That one I'm giving you is with Steve. Steve Gardner is the gentleman that did the presentation at the trade show. And he would be the one that would come in. And so I would prefer that if you did it as a group, that he doesn't have to come back 20 times. Do it one at a time. Anna?
Are you finished? Can we talk about stuff now? Sorry, just 5 minutes. So.
All right, I'm finished. Go ahead, please. Sorry.
So I had an interesting situation, and I wanted to share it. I had a listing that had multiple offers over there, and one of the realtors called me and wanted the list names of the realtors that were placing the multiple offers. And this is, I think, a Sutton initiative. She said she was blaming on the managing broker who was bringing this initiative forth because of all the lies related to multiple offer situations. And people are getting upset about, not knowing, is there really multiple offers? Or are you just saying that? So, I mean, I was set back, I was a little bit offended when she asked me that, to be honest with you. But then after I took that information, I thought, well, actually, that's a really good idea. I wish the board would actually put this forth. But is that ever going to be a possibility?
No. Board cannot set policy on how things are done, and board would not endorse anything like this only on the basis of you really can't give the names out of those other realtors without their permission, because they represent with their clients. And you're not to give them, you have an offer, they're gonna call them up and confirm if they're bringing an offer or not.
In Ontario, they require that offers be registered with the office, so that if you have an offer on say I'm with Remax, you're with TRG, I have an offer, I call your office and register that I have an offer to present.
Okay.
So then there's no question that I told somebody, but the other agents don't know who the other offers are from.
So, that makes sense.
But they're
I
there.
think a lot of realtors are bloody well lying out there, honestly. honestly, I really do. There's certain ones that have that reputation.
If you're in one of those multiple offer situations, how do you prevent it, or how do you guarantee that you, because you're gonna present your offer, hopefully you're not just emailing it to them, so that it doesn't matter if you're in a multiple or not, you've lost every control you ever have. But if you have get a chance to present your offer, how do you make sure that you know, or you're in the middle of a multiple, or if they're not lying to you?
Well, that's what I want to know. Like, how can we verify without offending people? Like, this woman kind of offended me.
Well, if you're presenting an offer, what would you ensure you would ask the question, well, how many offers are there? Is there 3? If there's more than 3, they don't have to say how many, they'll just say multiple. What time are you presenting your offers? If they're at 7, I'd like to be 3rd, I'd like to be 4th. Don't go first.
Right.
People think going first, I can get it, and they won't deal with anybody else's.
It's so difficult now because a lot of offers are emailed. Like, people are
No.
not
Well,
presenting.
and you've lost control of the situation, and the board has put rules in play that, no, you get to present your offer, you represent your client, Emailing it to them, unless they're in China or out of town, understand that. Sorry?
If I'm representing my buyer, I do present,
Yeah.
unless there's a notice that sellers
Correct.
only want,
Yeah.
offers emailed. But, yeah, it's a little bit complicated, and I don't know, it's just all.
Well, I'm just saying, if you present your offer, just make sure you're not first, then you know you're in a multiple offer situation.
When I was there, I just asked the owner whether my offer was the highest or the lowest.
Yeah. Well, and if a
And
good
I got
real,
an answer back.
you did?
know? Yeah, I wasn't the highest. So I said, okay, well, I'm going back to my clients, I'm gonna up my offer.
Well, and don't forget that.
No, but that was my privilege, I was there.
Yeah, you can ask it, and that's not a problem, but as a listing realtor, if I'm there already ahead of time talking to my sellers, explaining them the situation and what to do, and you will not, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, unless it's through me, you will not answer any questions whatsoever asked of you by that realtor. I will answer for you.
First, but the owner answered.
Yeah, but because the listing
Because he
agent
was
obviously
reading
didn't
the offer
control.
You
I would
gave
never
it to him
divulge that
too.
information. And 2, you may not get a chance to go back to your buyer to up your offer because one of the other offers there might be higher and they're gonna accept that one. You didn't bring your best, you lose out. Linda?
Especially if I'm unsure whether I'm being told the truth or not, and present to present the offer, whether I'm first in or last in or in the middle, it's up to them to arrange the sequence. But I can say very quietly, I understand you have 6 offers, and if the seller goes, what? Then there's something.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean,
That's not asking for privileged
No, but again, a
information.
listing agent, and I'll go, yes, thank you, Linda, for the thing, but I'm at 6.5, I'm not sure what. But the sellers aren't gonna say anything, because I've instructed them, I control the situation
But
all
they'll
the
question
time.
it.
Yeah. That helps if you know that maybe they haven't been told, or there is other ones, but as a listing realtor, why would I not present all my offers to my seller? It makes no sense to hide.
Double-ended.
But see, I'm gonna double end and win the double end anyways, because my offer is always gonna be presented last. I'm gonna have an idea where my buyer is, and I'm gonna be able to go back to them and get it up higher if I want. So, as a listing agent, I controlled every situation that happened. No one ever was able to do that. Happened to Nico. The client he had presenting multiple offers, his client was outside and said there was nobody else went in there when there was 2 others that went in, and 2 were actually emailed or sent in, right? They didn't present, the realtors were lazy, they were sent in. But his client said there's not multiple offers, no one else went in.
There's 3 other realtors that
Yeah.
went in.
3 other realtors went in and 2 were emailed. And I get the phone call and I got to deal with this irate client, got it, sold it, but nut bar. I mean, just
She wanted a copy of
every
everyone's
offer.
Every situation is different, guys. You just deal with it the best that you can.
Common sense takes care, and just any concern or questions, call me or Nico. Good.
11 o'clock sharp, as promised.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Before we,